Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Renee Box Young. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, sharing, showing your support, tuning into live sessions, in the flash lives, tuning into the premieres of my videos, definitely chatting away and collaborating there, man. I really appreciate each and every one of you, man, commenting in the comment sections of the videos after, when you go on the playback, man. I appreciate everybody. You guys are awesome. Subscribers since day one, recent subscribers. Renee Box Young is simply a platform where we discuss, critique, analyze, and simply talk about sport of boxing in a level-headed, coherent fashion, man. We're mature folk here, man. Definitely, man. That's what it's about here. If you love the sport of boxing, this is a place for you. Definitely. I want to talk about this, man. Concerning Timothy Bradley, ringside commentary, what have you, alongside with Andre Ward, legend, as everybody knows, Tim Bradley, former pro boxer too. And I understand, man, I've said this before. I pushed a video concerning Timothy Bradley and certain things that he has said, concerning, in this case, Canelo. This is not the first time, okay? And there are some things I do agree with, when it comes to Timothy Bradley and his comments, man. I'm not the type of person to discard everything he says. No, because, he has said some valid things. We got to understand, Say what people want to say about him. Say what people may or, say about him. He's a former pro boxer, man. He's fought, great fights. Pacquiao a few times. If I'm not mistaken, twice. I don't remember how many times he fought him, but, he's fought Pacquiao, and Pacquiao at that time, great opponent, So I got nothing to take away from Timothy Bradley. I know he has said some certain things that are kind of weird, Obviously, I get it. But at the same time, man, there are some things he says that are legit, So I'm not discarding everything that Timothy Bradley says. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, I'm not saying that everything he says is biased just because he's on Top Rank, things of that nature. Of course, some things are, though, But we got to, rightly divide things that people say, Wherever they come from, whoever they are. You know what I'm saying? So with Timothy Bradley, I just got to make that clear. I'm not discarding everything he says because there are some facts that he says, man, I definitely agree with. And that's what I want to talk about in this video. He just came out, in this whole, amazing undisputed bout between Taylor and Ramirez. I think it was in the after post-fight press conference or something like that. He was in a conference room or whatever. Congratulations to Taylor. Oh, my gosh. Beautiful undisputed bout, man. Beautiful undisputed champion now, Taylor. Oh my gosh, Josh Taylor, hats off to him, man. Champ, real undisputed, real, okay? And hey, hats off to Ramirez. That was a war, and boxing needs more of that. So, but I'll be going live soon to give my post-fight reaction on that stuff and ramifications of that. Everybody knows the ramifications concerning that bout and stuff like that, the winner. But Timothy Bradley, he was. What I'm trying to say is that Timothy Bradley, in this whole event, he was recorded, he was interviewed, what have you. Link in the description of the video on Fight Hype. So, shouts out to them with the content, and Timothy Bradley, man, he was talking about. He was asked about, him Canelo fighting Plant, and it's along the lines of what I, say, what I've been saying, and I agree with him. I definitely agree with him. The thing here, ladies and gentlemen, we've got to understand, I've been saying it time and time again also, have had coaches tuning into my channel, Teofimo Sr., shouts out to him, even though I know concerning Teofimo, the coach, Sr., okay? And just generally, a lot of people criticizing him and stuff like that, I agree too, I think he's going way out there, But, he's tuned in, what I'm trying to say here, he's tuned in, he's criticized some of my content, stuff like that. It's all good, whatever, Jessica McCaskill's coach also has tuned into my channel, and definitely shouts out to the coach, man, definitely Ramos. So, you know what I mean? People tune in, man, and I'm not just my platform, of course not. All these platforms out there. That's what I'm trying to say here. Community, fighters, coaches, etc., they tune into the platforms, to boxing, to the voice of fans that have platforms, such as YouTube and who speak out. We have a voice. I've been saying it time and time again. Why do I say this? Because Fight Hype, whoever the guy was who was recording, right? Shouts out to them. Was asking Timothy Bradley concerning Canelo and Plant and his input. Who do you think is going to win? Blah, blah, blah. And Fight Hype, or whoever the guy was, said that what a lot of the boxing community is saying. Because people listen, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't that awesome? People listen. These people are tuning in. to the platforms, to the community, generally speaking. And he mentioned that, you know what I'm saying, that, a lot of people are saying that, Plant, is not like Billy Joe Saunders. Plant is a natural, 168, whatever, this and that, and, he's taller, blah, blah, blah. It's a lot what the community's saying. And Timothy's like, I don't care. It doesn't matter about all that stuff. I'm just paraphrasing what he's saying. The height doesn't matter, the size, if he's a natural, 168, disciplined lifestyle, blah, blah, blah. And I agree with Bradley. That's what I'm trying to say here. I agree. And you know why. Go back and watch my video, man, when I talked about, Zab Judah giving props to Mayweather for his work ethic. There are fighters out there, man, who have that work ethic that's just off the charts. Canelo's one of them. And I'm putting all controversy aside with this whole... his history, Canelo's history. I know it's controversial, and I've talked about it time and time again. But I also, when it comes to this, analyzing Canelo and Plant, I definitely agree with Timothy Bradley. Timothy Bradley's like, man, Canelo is just his skill. He's super smart. He's just too much. In other words, man, Bradley was saying he's too much for Caleb Plant. And, he talked about how Plant doesn't have the pop to keep Canelo off, man, for Canelo to respect Plant. And I definitely agree too, man. Things I've been saying, things that community, generally speaking, has been saying. Obviously, it's a lot of differing opinions concerning Plant and, his potential bout. I always say potential because nowadays we don't even know what the heck. They can say something's official, but at the last minute, someone pulls out, something happens, whatever. Concerning Caleb Plant's potential bout, with Canelo. A lot of people say that, Plant's going to come and give a boxing lesson to Canelo. Plant just came out recently, saying that he has the skills like Mayweather does to confuse or whatever, to beat Canelo. I don't think so, okay? And I agree with Bradley. I mean, that's what Bradley's explaining there. I'm paraphrasing what he's saying. You watch the video, link in the description, check it out. I'm sure you saw it, who knows, right? But if you didn't, check it out, man. Check it out. I agree with Bradley, man. Plant saying recently that I got the skills like Mayweather or whatever what he said, right? To beat. In other words, he's saying that he has his skills and tools, maybe not the same as Mayweather, but to beat Canelo. I don't think so, man. I don't think Plant has the power. I don't think, and it doesn't matter about the size, And I agree with Bradley too. He said that. He said the size don't matter, man. Even though because, and this is just me speaking. I mean, look at the fighters that Canelo's fought concerning when you talk about size. It's not always size, ladies and gentlemen. Weight, yeah, I get it. I get it with the weight, but when it comes to size, I mean, it's quite shallow, man, ladies and gentlemen. It's quite shallow because a lot of fighters don't know how to use their size to their advantage. Taller fighters, what I'm saying? You got a list of examples of fighters who have the skills, who know how to fight short, take tall guys out. I mean, it's not that are in the same weight division, though. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with Timothy Bradley. He didn't buy that whole, size thing. He didn't buy the whole, Caleb Plant, he's a natural 168, blah, blah, blah. He's like, it doesn't matter, man. And I agree with him, man. I think Timothy Bradley is definitely speaking facts. You know what I'm saying? They talked about another point also that, Timothy Bradley talked about saying about Canelo that, and it's true, man. I agree with him too. And he's right, man. He said it in the context of the video. He said, I'm keeping it 100, and that's how I keep it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's put all that nonsense aside of when you criticize a fighter, you're hating, this is a bunch of nonsense. We don't have time for that on this platform. We don't have time for that on this platform. That's why I love the community who's been jumping in and cooperating and supporting and just being a part of this platform, man, because it's mature folk. We're past all that. I've said it time and time again, we're doing new things at Renee Boxing, man. We're doing new things here. There's no time for child's play here. Take that somewhere else. Take that somewhere else and go bigger somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? We don't do that here. We're mature. We analyze things in all aspects and angles possible as much, and we speak as realistic as possible. You know what I'm saying? As coherently as possible. That's what it is, and that's what Bradley was doing. You see, that's why I'm not going to say that everything Bradley says is whack. Everything Bradley says is nonsense. No, man, because he does speak facts, man. We got to recognize that. And Bradley said it. He said, I'm going to be 100, man. Canelo needs a signature fight. He needs a marquee fight. And it's true, man, because Bradley said it. He said, let's be real. He was talking about how most of the fighters, or a lot of the fighters, I'll put it that way, they were on their way out, man, in their careers. Of course, there are a couple names there, Triple G, and even though, in my humble opinion, I mean, the story there, but yeah, he has a couple names, of course, but a lot of them were on their way out. And Bradley's right. I made a video some time ago saying that, about Bradley, what he said concerning that. I mean, it's facts are facts. Facts are facts. You can't go around it. So that he also mentioned that. And I agree with him there too. And I also agree, should the fight go down, hopefully it does. Canelo versus Plant. I got Canelo beating him, man. I got him beating him. I just don't see, and I don't even think, in my humble opinion, Plant has the dog in him, man. Just that aggressiveness, that will really make Canelo respect him. He don't have it, ladies and gentlemen. I love Plant, man. Plant's amazing. I love his skills. I love what he brings to the sport. I got nothing against that. But when we talk about a particular when we talk about this matchup, Plant and Canelo, then we got to be right about it. We speak 100 about it. Whoever it is. In this particular matchup, we got to be real. And weigh it out on the scale, on the balance. And I'm not taking, that's what I'm saying. I don't take things personal. This is just, I'm just analyzing, things that are said when it comes to the sport of boxing. In this case, with Timothy Bradley. And in this particular video, analyze what he said. And I agree with several things that I have been saying. You know what I'm saying? And other people may differ. But, I mean, there's no need to get all emotional about, oh, you're a hater. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, you go somewhere else with that. You know what I'm saying? We're grown up here, But, yeah, I just don't see Plant. Hopefully it's good. I mean, it's going to be a great fight, though. I'm going to enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? There's another thing that Timothy Bradley said here. It's interesting because we broke it down, man. We broke it down, in another live session I had, a flash live. You know how I do it. Hit the notification bell so you know when I do lives. I can go live out of nowhere because I do flash lives, you know what I'm saying? And if there are new listeners, go ahead and subscribe. If you love the sport of boxing, this is a place for you, definitely. So you're going to love it. You're going to love it here. We talked about it. I don't remember when it was, but it was a couple weeks ago, I think. And in that live session in particular, we were talking about this whole thing, Plant, Canelo, et cetera, analyzing it, breaking it down a little bit. Talking about news and stuff like that, boxing news. And the topic came up with Plant, Canelo, and potential, opponents or whatever. And someone brought up in the chat, shouts out to the chat, always, man, it's community. Like I'm saying, I love your ideas. I love what you guys say. I love your input. And someone talked about Ward and Canelo. Now, this is a thing here I got to make clear, man. Like, and they talked about it interestingly because Fight Hype, they brought it out to him or whatever that topic. I don't know who brought it up. I think it was Bradley, or I think it was Fight Hype that asked, Bradley about it. And I said this in that live session I talked about, that I'm talking about, referring to a couple weeks ago. I don't know where this is coming from. This has been talked about for such a long time, Ward, Canelo. And at the time, it was starting to be really relevant, or I don't know, be heard a lot. At least when I started hearing it, it's like a year and a half ago, 2 years maybe ago. I don't know where it's coming from, but I don't understand. This is what I'm trying to say here. I don't understand why people push so much Ward versus Canelo when Ward, he's been retired for years, ladies and gentlemen. And we talked about this in that live session where, going back and forth at it, about it. And it's like, you know what? And Bradley saying that, his viewpoint, and this is where I disagree, okay? And if you disagree, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. But I just gotta give my input. Bradley, his input is that when they were talking about this topic, he said, I think the only one who can beat him, in other words, something along those lines, is Andre Ward. I disagree with that, man. I mean, because we're talking about in that flash live, I was talking about that we're breaking it down. When was the last time he fought? You know what I'm saying? 2017, his last fight was, if I'm not mistaken, it was his second fight, his rematch against Kovalev. Beautiful victory, man. Shots to the body. That straight gave that pain and agony to Kovalev, to the body, man. He was claiming it was a low blow, but whatever, stop faking it. You know what I'm saying? But Andre Ward, man, he's been retired for too long to come back and fight a Canelo, ladies and gentlemen. That's my opinion. Bradley was like, man, if he were to come back, I mean, he thinks that, Andre Ward has the tools. And I think he does. I definitely think that Andre Ward has all the tools to beat Canelo. But it's just been too long. I don't think Andre Ward, ladies and gentlemen, will be the same anymore. I understand that, people have pushed this or that idea or that concept of Andre Ward versus Canelo for a couple years now. But even since then, ladies and gentlemen, Andre Ward has been retired for a couple years at least. I don't know, what I'm saying? I don't understand that. Like, why bring a fight? I mean, I understand it, but then I don't. It's like, why would you want to bring Andre Ward from retirement and fight Canelo, even though he's been retired for a couple years at least, since the time people have been pushing that? You know what I'm saying? And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're in 2021, man. He's been retired since 17, 18, 19, 20, 4 years at least. By the time, if there's any remote idea of or tangibility of Canelo fighting Ward, it would be at least mid-2022, at least, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about least. Andre Ward would be retired for 5 years, man. I mean, it's just not, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't add up. It doesn't add up, ladies and gentlemen. Look how active Canelo is. I mean, we can just weigh it out in the balance. The skills, yeah, Andre Ward has it, but he showed that, ladies and gentlemen, in 2017. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know how old he is right now. I didn't look it up, but how old is Andre Ward too? You know what I'm saying? We gotta be realistic here, ladies and gentlemen. So I don't agree with Timothy Bradley on that. And I've been saying, I think the fighter who would give Canelo the biggest competition right now would be a prime champ, not a fighter who's been retired for 5 years almost. No. I think that, if Andre Ward were to come back and to fight Canelo, it would be a whole lot of the same criticism that Canelo has been getting in a legit manner, because it's true. Bradley himself said it in that interview. He said, you know what, it's just Canelo has fought a lot of, people who have been out the door, on their way out. It would be the same thing with Andre Ward, ladies and gentlemen. This would be the same thing. Why are people pushing so much Andre Ward versus Canelo when Andre Ward's been retired already, man? If he comes back, it's going to be a lot of the same criticism too. It's going to be like, Andre Ward's been retired for almost 5 years, man. It's coming back, same old thing with Canelo, fighting these guys who are, out of the prime and way out there, because it's facts, man. I wouldn't want to see it. I mean, I would. I know it sounds like I contradict myself. Whatever, I don't care. But, I just have that. I look at it from all angles. I wouldn't be too excited about it. Let me put it that way. I wouldn't be too excited about Andre Ward and Canelo. I would watch it. Of course I would. I love boxing. But I wouldn't just be too excited about it. I would think that Canelo would come in and take him, man. He would take Andre Ward, man. And what I mean by take him, he'll beat him. That's what I think. What we want to see and what the community's been pushing is Canelo fighting a prime champ. Young prime champ. I mean, come on now. That's what Bradley said in the interview too. And I've been saying that, and I think that the only fighter that can really give Canelo that work and possibly beat him is Jermall Charlo. You know what I'm saying? I just that's my humble opinion. That's what I want to see more than Andre Ward coming back, man, from almost 5 years of retirement. No tune-up fight, just coming directly for Canelo. It's like, nah, dude, that just doesn't add up to me. And I'm just speaking in my opinion, you know what I'm saying? I don't agree with that with Timothy Bradley. But I do agree with everything else he was saying in the interview. Link in the description, check it out. Bradley was speaking gems, man. And I personally think, let's just put it in the scenario. It should be done anyway, but whatever. I don't know, man. I don't want to get into that too much. But if Andre Ward were to come back and fight Canelo, theoretically speaking, it would be at least mid-2022 or at the end of it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. Andre Ward, I don't even think he's going to push it. I don't think he wants to do this, man. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know where it's coming from, people saying this, but I don't think Andre Ward's looking for that fight, man. You know what I'm saying? Timothy Bradley did say that they talked about it here and just a little bit dabbled about it, whatever. But he said, if Canelo don't call him, he's not going to push for it. Because, in my humble opinion, this is me, Andre Ward doesn't want to fight Canelo, man. I don't think he wants to. Not for fear, just for why? Why would I want to come back from retirement? I have a nice job. I'm doing my commentary thing. He's retired. He's good. Yeah, why would he want to come back and fight Canelo, man? I just don't see it. To me, it doesn't add up. But whatever, But what I'm trying to say here is if they did fight mid-2022, end of 2022, maybe even 2023, almost 5.5 years retired, man, come on, it's just not. they would have to do some drug testing, man. I mean, that's just my humble opinion, right? You know, do some drug testing on these guys, man. I'm not saying Andre Ward's fishy. No, you already know what I mean by that. You know what I mean by this. It has to be a clean, legit fight. Everything on the up and up. And that's how it always should be. That's how it always should be in all fighters' cases, and Canelo's, including Canelo's, all right? So has to be on the up and up with all these guys, man. But I don't think it always is, okay? Let's just be factual. Yeah, okay? So, but I don't think, what I'm saying here, ladies and gentlemen, if Andre Ward were to come back, I don't think he'd beat Canelo, man. Nah. No, I don't think he would, man. Canelo's too active. He's training day and night. You know, of course, I'm sure he takes his breaks, but ladies and gentlemen, nah. Yeah, Andre Ward has tools. Of course he does, but that was back in 2017. The last time everybody in the world saw his tools and saw him perform. How can you bring that into 2021, man? You know what I'm saying? I don't think it would equate to the same performance. You know, I don't think Andre Ward would equate and perform the same as he did when he retired. You know, in his last fight. I don't think so, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, Andre Ward, I'm taking nothing away from him. He's amazing. But I'm talking about now, 2021, 22, 23, if he were to fight Canelo. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about his career, of course not. Don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? And I don't agree with Timothy Bradley on that one, man. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. I don't agree with him on that. But everything else, what he was saying, man, I do agree. And I reiterate, man, I'm not taking anything away from Timothy Bradley and his career and, you know, who he was as a fighter. Heck no. Desert Storm, man, he was no joke. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to say that everything he says now as a commentator or whatever is trash or he doesn't know what he's talking about. No, man, because he does spit facts. You know, he does spit gems, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, it is what it is. So there are a couple things I did agree with him, definitely, for the most part, in that video, in that interview. But when it comes to him talking about Canelo versus Ward and Ward would beat him, I don't think so, man. I don't think so. Interesting stuff, man. Check the video, link in the description. You know, comment section of the video if you're tuning in, you know, in the playback, man. Thanks so much. And thank you for those who do constantly tune into the premieres and the flash lives. Like I said, hit the notification bell, man. Renee Box Young is simply a platform where we discuss, critique, analyze, and simply talk about the sport of boxing. If there are new listeners, go ahead and subscribe. It's free. You know what I'm saying? If you love the sport of boxing, great content for you. It's for free, man. You know what I'm saying? So thank you so much, man. Renee Box Young. Stay safe, each and every one of you. Let me know what you think. Comment in the comment section. Peace out, fam. Love y'all.